All right, the real estate market continues to be one of great concern to local homeowners. Joining us now with more is Orange County Register business columnist Jonathan Lansner. He comes to us live from the Register building in Santa Ana. How you doing, John?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great, thanks. We haven't spoken to you, maybe we have, since we've gotten a new president. It's all melding into one gigantic party, right? I'm already tired of the term the Obama influence or the Obama effect, but truthfully, what does that have to do with mortgage rates?
Well, I think the grand question for 2009 or 2010 or some people 2011 is when does the housing market turn around? And clearly it needs a jolt. The current conditions are not really healthy for anyone, and that jolt is probably going to come from Washington, and with the president having a large stimulus package working its way through Capitol Hill, certainly he's going to have a statement. How the stimulus gets people to buy homes and gets people to stay in the homes that they can't really afford is a really tough question, and it's going to sort of permeate the housing debate throughout 2009. Can
we reach the average sales volume the upcoming year?
Well, we have run the past 6 months above a year ago after about an extended period of not beating the year-ago pace, but we're still 30% or so below average, and it's going to take a big jump to get there. I have a funny feeling if things go right by the end of the year, we may be close to what we consider average conditions in housing early next year, because basically the sellers are going to realize they have to sort of lower their prices to meet the current buyers' needs.
What about foreclosures?
That's really not going to get much better this year. There's certainly a lot of people who are in trouble who probably aren't going to get the help from Washington. I mean, they have mortgages they can't afford, and their homes are worth less than what they owe, and they're prime candidate to walk from the house or be escorted, depending on the situation. I think we have to get through at least another year's worth of foreclosures before we're going to sort of say that the situation is under control. And that's with the caveat the economy at some point late this year, early next year turns around and we have no more shocks, surprises, disasters, etc.
And you said something that I want to get back to, that sellers need to lower their prices in order to meet the buyer's needs. Hasn't that already happened?
Well, yes, overall, we've seen a pretty good drop if you look at the median, which may or may not be indicated of 30 to 40% drop off the peak. But it's very divergent. We've probably seen in the heart of the county around Santa Ana drops of 50 or 60%. On the beach, 10 or 20. Now, some people say, hey, that's the difference between Santa Ana and living on the beach. Some other people may say maybe some people haven't realized the damage to the economy and the housing market, and that the sort of the premier beach communities and other high-end communities probably still have to take a bit more of a tumble to meet the buyers. I mean, look, it is hard to get a loan these days, and bankers aren't going to just willy-nilly lend you a couple $1,000,000 to buy a home you may or may not afford that may or may not have the value. So the lenders are going to fix it, even if the buyer's situation, whether or not the seller wants to sell at that price or not.
Home builders, anything looking good?
No, it's a near disaster. I'm sure we're going to have a couple who are going to end up in bankruptcy or worse this year. I mean, it's one of those years where you sort of duck and hope you can survive for next year. Certainly there's some with enough cash to ride out the storm. We're going to have minimal sales. I mean, the problem was they were prepped to sell all the high-end homes. Those are not going to sell anytime soon, and they either have to retool or redo their projects, or just literally duck and hibernate and wait for better times.
All right, one final question regarding the real estate market. The hiring has virtually stopped, correct, within real estate construction, those jobs?
You're being kind. I think between real estate and lenders, employment's off about 12% off the peak of 2006. I think what would be pleasant is that drop sometime in 2009 had stopped, and we had reached sort of the bottom, so to speak, of where at least employers weren't laying off people out of that business. It's good paying jobs which are not easily replaced, going from whether you're hammering nails or making mortgages to working a retail job or a mid-level office job does not pay the same. So it hurts the economy two ways. One, we don't have a real estate business, and two, these people are either not making incomes or subpar incomes. So if by the end of the year we've reached the bottom of that, it'll be another good sign. But my hunch is bottom 2010 at this point.
All right. Well, we're going to hold you to your hunch. Thanks a lot, John, for joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys.
Thanks, John.